Okay, I'm doing this on the hop. I'm not really heavily scripting it. I'm just trying to show you, I guess, my process. We've got waves in now, as per the second video. We put that in as per the first video. Pretty happy with the mix. So then what I would do is I've re-established that horizon line, and I may need, remember we're in what's called blocking in. We're just blocking in the main colours for the moment. I may need to re-establish that horizon line later on, possibly, because it's such a crucial part of the painting, and particularly if it was a bigger painting, I'd be using tape to do that, masking tape. Some people think that's just horrible, but when you're painting a lot, you just think, oh, yeah, I could get this horizontal, but it's just going to take me hours of fiddling around if I put a bit of tape down. And you've got to know also how far to go with that tape. You don't want a ridiculously straight line. So I'm going to go for a slightly smaller brush, and I've just wiped off the white on that. And I'll pick up some blue. It's off right of screen, and that will allow me to fill that in around this rocky headland. So look, I'm going to speed paint here just so that you're not watching me do this for ages. This is my first coat, so like the sky, once I put second and third coats in, I'm just going to get a much richer colour. So I'll do that up there. So that's that. And when I get to the waves, I would either let this dry, just do that in one sitting and then go away, or I would just come in, but be very careful. I don't want to start, and it's very easy to do, start getting blue into that white. So probably I'd let that, I'd play it relatively safe and let that go. So you do that over a couple of stages. The next thing I'm going to do is a couple of these areas in the painting have a really rich green here in the shallow sandy water. So I'll just show you how we're going to tackle that. I've got a brush which is very dark, so I'll just manually get most of the paint out. And I am going to go for a new type of colour, phthalo green. This stuff is dynamite. If it gets onto you, it will just go everywhere. A lot of the paints, like burnt umber. Burnt umber comes from Umbria in Italy. There's another colour called burnt sienna from Siena. So they were mined, they're iron oxides, and they were mined. And then they were raw umber, raw sienna, or burnt umber, burnt sienna, to get a rich colour. But phthalo green is, as you can see it mixing here, it's a synthetic colour, quite translucent. So I'm just mixing up a bit of this, and this is just going to be a base. Now, be really careful with this stuff. Get your departure lounge up, get a little bit in the departure lounge, mix it around so you've got some control over this. Because honestly, it will take off too much and you'll be in trouble. So I'm going to do something quite shocking here. I'm going to lay down some green that's in the painting, and you see I've put really no care into mixing that colour. What I'm doing is, you can see these sandy patches here, and that they are quite green. And there's some sandy patches there in the lagoon as well. So we're going to just put what I would call a base colour down. So let's do that. I'll keep the image close by. And I've got my paint here. So I'm in this area here along the shoreline. And I'm just going to throw, so it's going all the way out to that wave, which I think you remember is there. So I'm going to put some green in there. Now we're going to add layers onto this, and so the green will be much subdued and much controlled, but for the moment it's going to give us a really nice, in the way the burnt umber does, it's going to come through the painting and give us a really nice sort of greeny, sandy bottom into the picture. This is starting to look good already. And there's no reason why yours is, you sometimes you just do things and go, oh, wow, this is really happening. Cool. So here we go. Just trying to think myself through what I did. Okay, so that line there is the shoreline, like a little ridge where the water's coming up, the waves are coming up. So that's my line there. And then this is more that wave along the beach. So I'm going to put that in. Believe me, this will really, we're going to put layers on top of this and it's going to look really nice. If you saw the other painting I did of Yallingup North, we used similar techniques there of layers. And then putting washes over the top. Okay, so that's that. And I am going to put in some green. See where it is in the lagoon? It's sort of some greeny patches in there. You've got your image close by, but you can see, that green that's in there and in the shore. So I want to try and duplicate that. That's the sandy point there. So it's just up from the sandy point. So I figure it's around about here. So I'm just going to add that green. Very important not to go too green on this. So these are like little sandy strips through the reef. So they're not too long. So just check that you haven't done something like, you just check that your phthalo green's not like that. We don't want that. We want a lighter colour, so it needs to be mixed with the white. Look, I think you've got the hang of it. You're going to let that dry, and then you can start to drop in blues around it where required. The lagoon's probably a little bit lighter, but you've got your basic process, you've got your tone organised for this. You'll paint around the waves, fade this into a darker colour. But yeah, this is a really good start and enough for you to do in the second week. So I'll finish the videos here.